You and Albana?
Yes.
Very nice. We're still waiting for Mary. Lizzle's here. Annette. I don't know if I add Annette's in there. Oh God, I forgot Annette. Uh, now I added her. And then Mary, I'm still waiting. Hi, Annette.
Hey.
I tried to reach Mary, but I couldn't. So if anything, we can share the recording to her. Yes, and if she reach out to any of you, just let me know so I can add her in the video call. All right. So before we start back with the reports and a lot of things, I have to start with this is a very big automation, so it tends to have issue. That's why I said if you see any problem, tell me because I don't know until something is shown to me. And I look into it, the hard record I just show, where it shouldn't have been a duplicated 4 o'clock entries became duplicated 3 different 4 o'clock entries, which is incorrect. So I know that's something that you have been seeing, like the manager asked you to interpret it and you saw the same thing. So I concur. It's incorrect. Now I have to do some debugging, then I'll get back with everybody. I also get some feedbacks from Tammy about when patient goes to imaging, X-ray, scan, they shouldn't be counted against the nurses to do the reposition. I'm aware of that. I'm not sure if there's a direct answer to that, but I'll work on everybody comments one by one. And in terms of interpreting the report, let me share the report. Assuming everything is perfect, so there's no error, it worked the way it should work. I just want to go over the report so when it gets fixed, you kind of get the idea of how to interpret it to the manager who asks you and to your own unit too if they have any question. Um, so it's green versus red. So let's say in this block of patient, 6 boxes were shown, assuming that every 2 hours there's entries of data. So that's one shift. So there's one green out of the 6 entries, which is 1 out of 6. That's the percentage I will get for that particular patient encounter. Now I wouldn't get each of the percentage and then add it up. I would be counting the green out of all of the green and red in here. Then I get the final percentage up here, which is 19%. Now, because this report is having some error, so this number might not be representative of the unit, just know that I'm just counting green over all cell that has color. I'm not counting any cell that has a blank, which is the patient might not even have been in that unit for long enough, or maybe the patient came in at the last minute of the shift, so there's no entry, so there's nothing to be counted in that time frame where patient just got there. So that's how you can interpret it. And December 18 from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m., that is midnight, just past midnight of the December 18, all the way to the noon of December 18. And if you see, say, December 18, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., that means from noon of December 18th all the way to midnight, and then so on and so forth. Um, yeah, it should have
Hello?
worked. Oh, yes, I can hear you.
If you go in, if, if you go into your, can you take your mic off?
Oh, you muted, Kim.
She's explaining Mary because she doesn't have Teams on her computer yet.
Oh, no, I see, I see.
If she opens, if she's in Outlook Um,
And then at
uh,
the top where it says Teams?
That's what she's explaining. Go to the Outlook and and search it over there.
mhm. I think it has to be Outlook in a browser instead of just using the app itself because Lizelle and myself were trying that earlier. I think Lizelle went to the bridge and then logged into Outlook, and then you have those. Let's see, 3, 4, 6. It's like 6 dots up in no, yeah, 6 dots up in the upper left hand corner.
She's coming upstairs to our office.
Not quite sure how her computer wouldn't have Teams on it, which is weird. I mean, it should be the standard apps that go into any leader's profile, but she's coming up.
Yes. Should I keep
Sorry.
going? Should we wait for Mary?
Keep going. We're recording, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. So that is the report. And then I like to dive a little bit into the logic of these report, just so I get an idea of whether it's working out for everybody or not. So the way I set it up originally is if I see no current documentation, but there's an entry on the flow sheet, then I call it, I flag it red, which is not good, which non-compliance. But if it's a complete blank, there's no entry on the flow sheet, there's no time, nothing, then I just skip over that. There's really, it's not a really a no documentation. It's more like the patient hasn't been there for enough time for that entries to have anything. Then if there's no issue with documentation, if the patient said, if the nurses say not applicable, other, comment, or refused by patient, I would still flag it green, which is in compliance, but the text is red, so that any manager or CQNL who wants to take a look at the unit performance, they can kind of understand where's the green coming from. Is the patient still getting repositioned? Are they doing enough of a convincing work on the patient to make them turn? Now, of course, the patient say no. There's nothing we can do. But is there anything that we can provide further education to the patient that if you don't, then this is what's going to happen, etc., etc. Then if that is also not the case, it's the documentation duplicated. Say a patient was turned left previously, then now the keyword left is still on the entries, then patient is still on the same position. However, though, if I see something like patient is turned left and patient is turned right in the same entries, then I would say this doesn't make any sense. This is not logical. So I would also flag that as red. Then if it's not duplicated and not red and sorry, left and right, not logical like that, then I would check for whether it's within 2 hours or not. If it's more than 2 hours from the previous entry, I would flag it red. If it's within 2 hours, then I would have to check for other conditions, which is the next step. You know, whether a patient was on their back, and then if they're not also on their right or their left, then previously was they also on their back? If no, then that's a green. If yes, that's a red. Now, if patient was on their back, not turned right or left, and previously they was on their left or right, that's a green. But if previously patient was on their back, which is on their back, and then previously was also on their back, then that's a red. Now I have a question for CQNL. If I see a patient turn right and being on a supine position, I would automatically flag that as red because supine to me is on their back. They can be on their back both and on their right. If they were on their right in a semi Fowler position, that would make sense because it's just a bad angle. That makes sense. So would you agree with that, or is that not something that you would agree with?
You're right. It would make sense.
Yes. Thank you. Um, and then keep going with the logic. We got the same concept. If patient is turned right, was there previously on their right also, then that's a red. If they're not, then was there on their left or back, that's a green. It's just a continuation of logic. Now I don't have it very complicated when it goes down the line because I already catch it all up here. So down the line, the logic get simpler and simpler. And then when all logic is exhausted, next comparison, which is the next patient encounter. Um, it should have worked, but for some reason, the report you're receiving has duplicated time entry and it shouldn't have been like that. So I need to figure out what's going wrong in my automation in terms of it could be copying the wrong report or opening the wrong one. I have to figure that out. That would be on my end. And then for the heel, let's just go through it quickly. Logic for the heel said if right lower extremity is not amputated and left lower extremity is not amputated, if that's true, then check if heel reposition is blank. If that's yes, flag red, because patient is not amputated. How come there's no heel reposition, right? And if there is some heel reposition, is it not applicable or other comment? If that's the case, flag green, but red the text, just so uh, higher up would know what's going on. And the next logic would say, if right lower extremity is not amputated and left lower extremity is not amputated, sometime if the box is blank, empty, I just automatically assume that amputation is not involved in here. And then if that's the case, then more than 2 hours or does not meet any of the criteria for heel reposition. So when I say does not meet criteria, I mean I don't see the two keyword, which is heel elevated off bed or heel protector, and that's automatically a red. And if it's not more than 2 hours and meet the criteria, then it's a green. Then I go to the next comparison. Now, if this doesn't work, then I check the next condition. If right lower extremity is amputated and left lower extremity is also amputated, explicitly spell out in the box in the entries, then that's automatically green. There's nothing that heel reposition could do for this patient, you know. So next up, I have if
Dan,
one of the
how
yes.
does the system know that an extremity is amputated? Sorry, we were
Oh,
messing around here trying to not be echoing and to be able to
oh
hear.
yes. Thank you. Thank you for helping with the echo. So I look into the flow sheet. I have this from Braden Jack CCU flow sheet flowing from Epic Report. It has been set up so that I have this right lower extremity assessment. The title is named incorrectly, but this is right lower extremity and this is left lower extremity assessment. You see how um, if they were to be amputated, that would be a word that said amputation. I just assume that if there is a record of amputation, then patient lower extremity, each whether it's left or right, is amputated. That's how I find it. But if there's no mention of it, automatically I assume patient is not amputated in lower extremity. Do I answer your question, Kim?
So you have to manually go in and put that, or is it pulling from
Oh,
documentation?
it's the automation. So like this document is feed into my file every 2 hours. So it's all automated. You see this file folder we have? It's coming in automatically, and then this report is running with a macro. So everything has already been I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is making sure my logic is correct, and if it's not, I have to go in and debug it. It's Raymar. He does this work. This is his template. I go in and I put the logics in. It has been done for a lot of other reports around the hospital, such as hyperglycemia, if I'm not wrong, restraint report. There's so many things he does, I don't even know. But the point is, it's already been done before.
Okay.
Something similar, yes. And then back to the logic, just to make sure I cover it all, so you could answer to the manager. And then, if all of the conditions have been exhausted but no conclusion is found, and if criteria is not met, which is simple keyword, heel elevated off bed or heel protector, assuming that would cover for both laterality, then I would flag red. And then if it's not met, um, if it's met, no to a no is a yes, then it would flag green. And if all logic is exhausted, I would go to the next patient encounter. And when I say next patient encounter, I mean this is one encounter, this is the next encounter. Um, yeah, that's about it.
So if I'm looking at this particular SICU report and I'm looking at that top line, at midnight, it didn't meet criteria, but at 2 and 4 and 6, it did. And then you have 2 blanks, which means that what?
They did a reposition
They didn't document, or the patient was
off the unit.
off the unit.
Could be that patient could be off the unit, or if there's absolutely no entry. So like you see this flow sheet, if I don't see a patient encounter being registered on here, I have nothing to come against, to compare to. So then that's automatically assumed either patient went away or usually patient went out. Probably that went out the unit.
Like off the unit.
Yes.
Okay.
But if that reposition field, let me see, column U here. If this field is blank, that means there's no documentation, but there is a patient entry. So then I would say that's a red because that's a no documentation found. Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And that report comes straight out. Sorry, my Epic is gone away, but if you remember what I said first when we were on Zoom, it's come directly from the flow sheet of daily care. Let's see if I can copy a patient encounter. Let's do this one, just a sample. Or, oops, that's my bad. I'm so sorry, it's taking a long time. I hit enter before I put in the har.
Hey, Dan, I have a question.
Yes.
What if the patient is not on the unit, but they still show up on the report? Because we had a patient that was on the report but hadn't made it to the unit yet. And they were showing up as being on the unit, and the nurse manager was concerned because it was red. And she's like, well, they're not on our unit, but it's saying that they're here. I don't want to get, flagged for this being incorrect.
Right. That is something I do have to look into. I was
Okay.
hoping that the no entry flow sheet should have cover for that if patient is not on the unit yet. But that is different then. That's something I didn't expect. So we can look into that.
Okay.
And then,
Yes.
this is all. So I have a
Yes.
question because I just saw the report for the 12 noon and I saw that it's all red for this patient. So I went to the chart because it was since last night, it was red. So I said, what's going on? So I went to the chart and they put like, in the mobility, there's a box there that unable to turn due to respiratory status because the patient is on Nembex, the patient is very ill. So I told the nurse, if this patient is a no turn, it's gonna show all red. So I went and you have to investigate and go back. Why is this red? So because the patient, they're unable to turn the patient, very critical, very unstable, on paralytics, on sedation. So that's not going to show in your report because it's just, a small note on that mobility box.
I see. Is there an option off of reposition where it's say not applicable? If you could ask your nurses on the floor to put it in, because you see this logic say
It's not
reposition.
an option. You can put it in a comment, but you cannot leave someone
Yeah.
without turning for days and then you got a happy, and then how can you justify that? It should be an option to tilt patients, because by turn, we don't mean like a good like 90-degree turn. We mean it can be a tilt with like way less. And that counts to offload the pressure too. I mean,
I know.
just say.
Yeah. So I told them, do we have an order in nursing communication that do not turn a patient? Because because this happens a lot in the ICU. I know we do have puppies due because of their condition. So they did have an order that do not turn a patient, but it's showing here pillow support, positioning system.
Gorgeous.
They're on an EHAB mattress actually, because it's a neuro ICU patient. It's EHAB mattress. They have that in place. So it's showing red because of that one.
Which
So
unit
there's
are
no
you
other
referring to, Lizzo?
neuro ICU.
Oh, I see you. When the report comes to your unit, what is it
It's
title
all
as?
red. Oh,
Is it Neuro Unit CC 4 North
no,
or?
it should be like SVC neuro ICU.
Huh. When I'm scrolling through this folder, do you recognize anything that you saw today? So this one was sent out December 18, 12:44 today.
Yeah, I
So
just saw it.
any
I'm actually looking at it. It's all red
uh-huh.
since
Is
last
it
night because
6 South Message Pavilion?
no, it's an ICU in the 7th floor.
And it's like NCCU or something like that?
NCCU, but it's in the report. It says neuro ICU.
Oh,
Are you able to share your screen, Lizzo, if you don't mind?
I don't know. Oh, did recharge? Yeah, I can.
Yes, then we can work from there. I just want to see if the nurses did put together
This
other
one. Can you
comments.
see that?
Yes, yes, we can see it.
So that's what it's showing. This is for the 12 noon. No, this morning I think. So this is what it's showing. That's why I went and investigate what's going on, because it's been like this since last night. But they put in a small box a comment that unable to turn because of respiratory status, patient and paralytics, but they're on positioning system. So I don't know how to, like, you have to really go into the chart and investigate why is this going on.
Right. So, um, Haley told me that. So this is for everybody, not for special cases like that. That repositioning system is not enough. So I don't consider them as green. Pillow support is not enough. Reposition in bed chair is not enough. And semi-fowlers, it's considered on their back. And if previously there
Yeah.
was also supine or semi-fowler, then that would also put it into a red. They have the option to use the keyword NA
NA?
or yes, not applicable, and it would automatically show a screen if
Oh,
there's an
really?
option for that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's an NA option.
Right, right. You can do that. Now you have to be very careful of letting them know this
But
rule,
you're still in your back.
because
Okay.
if they overuse it, then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me know that.
You're
I'll
welcome.
stop sharing now.
Like that.
Yes. Yes.
Do not turn because the respiratory says hello.
Any other questions?
so as a quick recap, when we're looking at the grid, we're looking at 12 midnight to 12 p.m. I want to talk about the repositioning one, not the heal one, but 12 midnight to 12 noon, And if the patient is an 18 or below on their Braden score, is when they show up on the report.
That's
Correct?
correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
So then don't look at the time, but look at the 6 boxes and do the math of how many greens out of 6
You can say that. Yeah, how
is
many green
basically
out of
your
red?
compliance.
Yes. Actually, how many green out of all of the color boxes? Both green and red. Like a
Right. So if,
yes.
I mean, there's 6 opportunities, and if you have 5 greens out of the 6 boxes, you're whatever that math is.
Yes, yes.
5 out of 6.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. That's
Instead
correct.
of,
And
all
I
right.
will send out an email to every CQNL and manager saying that I acknowledge there's an error in some of the red box where it duplicates the entry. So right now, if you saw more issues, keep coming back to me so I can debug this. And it will never be a finalized product. We will always see something coming up. That's just normal. So let me know. The purpose is not to be perfect, it's just to do something about it. And we are doing something about it.
To be more
Good
to
point.
be more recent in the how the when the patient has been turned, as opposed to today we're looking at yesterday all day. So we're getting the last
Right.
12, okay.
Yes,
Are
you
we
got
making
it.
any headway on, like, at some point getting this report going to the main printers of the units?
Charge nurses.
Great. Thank you
And,
so much. I have to
and
put in an
mind
IT
you, they're
ticket.
not color printers either.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's
Oh.
color.
be gray and dark gray.
But I mean, the
I
night
see.
shift one sent to managers and CQNLs at this time, it defeats the purpose because none of us is here.
I think I
Oh,
need
I
to
see.
figure it out with James, because like how you want that distribution. I wouldn't like stop what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
But then we need to figure out, a better process. And it really is kind of mucks up I shouldn't say that. It really populates our emails. And especially if you're gone for like 10 days, it'd be crazy.
I am so sorry. Let me check my door really quickly. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, everybody. Thank you.
Kim,
Yeah.
hey, I have a question. So remember that term team packet that we received? So I'm looking at and this is what assignment sheet that we give the staff here in the pavilion. But I just noticed it says Braden, for turning, Braden score 15 and below, but it should be 18, right?
Yes.
Well, it's not official. Patient
Okay.
absolutely needs to be turned Braden 15 and below, and you need to consider if the patient needs to be assisted to turn a Braden score 16, 17, or 18.
Okay.
Actually was just having a conversation with James today, and I think that we need to do a one big clean swoop on
Okay.
same process on every single unit. We can't have a combination of turn teams and the opposite of nurses individually being responsible for their assignment. And so just keep going
Yes.
forward, but stay tuned that we might do a really big initiative and push for a similar process, especially on the med surge and intermediate floors.
So just keep it where I'm at right now until we,
I would, yes, but this
Okay.
report, just know that this report pulls in patients 18 and below. So you
okay,
might see a lot more red because, staff, they're not considering
right.
if the patient needs to be turned. But my message to my units has always been, if your patient's Braden is 15 or below, each 2 hours, you need to see a different position documented.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for
All
the
right.
explanations, Dan. We appreciate it. Makes a little
No,
bit
I
more sense.
appreciate Yes, I appreciate too. I realized I didn't have a chance to break down the logic, so it would be, how did I get there with the red? So this is a great opportunity to break it down with everybody.
That's what it needs to be shared with the managers because when you explain that flow chart, I think they will get the idea. I mean, the report are
Absolutely.
pretty self-explanatory, red and green. It tells you the time, the
Yes.
name, and all that. So
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I will share the recording with everybody, and please go ahead and share with the managers. And also be cautious because I told everybody not applicable will show green. I'm just kind of worried, but I think everybody know what they have to do. Yes. All right. Thank you for your time.
Can you send
Thank you.
the logic out to us?
Yes, yes, CQ now, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Is there any other CQ now I should send out except beside you guys?
There's a women's services and NICU doesn't per se really apply to them, but we can loop them in or it's up to you.
Maybe you could send me a chat, Kim, since you're next to the computer. I'm not aware of all the people in our organization. And I might not even know
The
nurses' names.
NICU, I'm not sure if the NICU
Yes.
would be applicable, but the Women's Services Labor Delivery person also has 3 South, which has like adult patients on it. And her name
Oh,
is
yes.
Casey. Her last name is Gouin.
Yes. I think
And
James
then
sent that to us, to me.
Richard from the North Campus is going to follow up with Julie, who's got the ICUs and intermediates at the North Campus.
Absolutely. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for joining today.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
Yes. All right. You guys have a good holiday. I'll send the record out. Thank you so
You too.
much.
Thank you.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.